Hey folks, so we're back here, we're out on the range, and this is what you're going to pretty much typically find on a typical indoor range in most places. You go to an outdoor range, usually the setting's a little bit different, but on typical commercial indoor ranges, what you're going to find is a shooting stall, and basically this is where you're going to stand when you're shooting, and this is where the range master wants you to be. And then you're going to see basically a table or a tray of some kind, and that's going to be your bench rest. So for the purposes of this qualification, you're more than welcome. This is probably the best thing for you to do, is just orient all your stuff off here, and you're good to go. Now we're going to, again, do things off of a barrel just so that the angle is a little bit easier for you to see. It's a little bit tight and confined when we're in the shooting stall, but this is a perfectly acceptable way of going and setting up your gear. So guys, here we are. We're going to get ready to shoot this qualification, and what we've done is we've set up 20 pie plates at 5 different shooting positions. Now, you guys don't have to do this at your home range. We just set this up here so that we could film this quickly without having to do a lot of organization. Hey guys, so what you're going to see here is an upper row of plates and a lower row of plates. Now you guys can organize these in whatever fashion you think is safe for your particular home range, and you should orient them in a way that you can ensure that the rounds are going to impact the backstop. The reason I did this is because the Pro-Marksman series of shots, what's going to happen is you have to shoot it from a bench rest, which means I'm going to be sitting down and my gun is going to be fairly low. Because it's low, I want to shoot at lower targets so that the angle is not an upward angle and potentially hitting the ceiling. Correspondingly, when I switch over to the Marksman program, we're going to be shooting at the upper set of plates because I'm going to be standing. Because I'm standing, I definitely don't want the angle to be low because the targets are relatively close. I don't want to be shooting at the floor, so I put the targets high up, about eye level. Okay? So that's what I had to do for my particular home range. You guys do whatever makes sense for your particular home range, and just make sure that when you're shooting these, you're shooting them safely. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Pro-Marksman course of fire, which is going to be 5 rounds from the bench rest on each of 10 plates. So I'm going to take a shot at, say for example, this plate. I'm going to shoot it 5 times, and then I'm going to shoot this plate 5 times, and I'm going to do that correspondingly for a total of 50 rounds, 5 shots on each of 10 plates, and this is what it's going to look like. So there you have it, folks. There are our first 2 targets, and what we want you to do is take your time. We're looking for 5 hits on each of the paper plates, and what you see are 5 hits there on each of the 2 targets. Now on the target on the right, what you're going to see are you're going to see 3 clearly defined bullet holes and then 1 larger bullet hole, and that's actually 2 shots through the same hole, and so we've marked those in red. You can take as much time as you need to do these, and you want to make sure that you get all of your hits within a ½ inch of the edge of the paper plates, and we've marked those in red. The scoring lines aren't completely to scale because of the angle of the picture, but you get the idea. make sure you measure a 1/2 inch from the edge of the paper plate and you'll be just fine. So there you have it, folks. That's the first 2 targets. And the second 2 targets, I tried to spread my shots out a bit so that it's easy for the camera to pick up. But you just want 5 shots on each target. And you know, sometimes you got to be careful because every once in a while you're going to get it's only 4, but that's actually right there. That's actually 2 shots to the same hole. If you actually compare it to the one above it, you'll see they're actually longer. So sometimes you'll get that, and there you go. And so that is your Pro-Marksman qualification, and that will then earn you the very first rating in the pistol qualification series. All right, guys. Well, as my friend reminded me here, the internet being what it is, and even though it did look like one of those shots or 2 of those shots went through the same hole, for posterity, let's just get it right so that there's no question of what it ought to look like. So I'm going to just shoot 5 more shots on an additional plate to round out the Pro-Marksman series. Take my word for it that that was 2 shots through 1 hole, but you know what? We don't want the internet commandos, the net ninjas getting all upset and challenging what we came up with. So let's go ahead and just knock that last one. So there you go, folks. 5 shots. Even though I will submit to you that the one in the lower right is actually 2 shots through the same hole, we went ahead and completed it. And that actually brings up a good point, which is you do not have to do these in succession. As long as you get 10 of them right, you're good to go. So that's the Pro-Marksman series, and we'll catch up again and work on the Marksman rating. So there you have it, folks. That was the Pro-Marksman rating. And so remember, we got 10 paper plates, 5 shots per paper plate for a total of 50 rounds. You need to have the all of the shots within a 1/2 inch of the edge. I might have said 1.5 inches earlier on the video. It's actually a 1/2 inch from the edge, so somewhere within that basically 8.5 inch center area of the 9-inch paper plate. Total of 50 rounds. You don't have to shoot them all on the same day, and they don't have to be shot in succession. So that's the Pro-Marksman rating, and on the next video diary we're going to move on to the Marksman rating, and that's going to be very similar little bit more rounds, and we're going to be doing it from the standing position, two-hand freestyle. So I'll meet you on the range for the next video diary.